Welcome back to Whiskey and Wit. This is Seymour with
Sheep Guy. I've changed my name since the last time I've seen you because apparently no one can remember it.
Oh, I absolutely remember Sheep and Sleep. I just think it's the stupidest name I've ever heard.
Oh,
I honestly prefer Sheep Molester because when I hear Sheep and Sleep, that's what I think about. Maybe that's just me. So, tonight we have been exploring this wonderful video game called Project Cars 2. Now, I want to point out to you that we are exploring Project Cars 2 as opposed to Project Cars 3. And there's a very good reason for that, because Project Cars 2 is a straight-up sim racer in the line with the hardcore Forza series, not Forza Horizon, but Forza, and also with Gran Turismo. It is a legit simulation racing game. Unlike Project Cars 3, which diverted more into simcade racing because it still had the elements of regular simulation, but at the same time it was a lot more forgiving and felt a lot more like an arcade racing game where, hey, your car hits the wall, not a big deal. That's what we've been working on tonight. We have also been working on what is this whiskey's name again? I don't even know what it is.
Pick up the bottle. It's right next to you.
What'd you do with it?
It's right up there.
Is it? I don't see the bottle. Okay, so tonight we have been drinking Howler Head banana flavored whiskey. Now, I will tell you right now, I am not a one to go for the flavored anything alcohol. I don't care if it's Mike's Hard Lemonade or some kind of wine cooler. I like my whiskey to taste like whiskey. But this actually had a very, very smooth, pleasant taste to it. I was pleasantly surprised by this bottle. What do you say?
I agree. When it's way too sweet, I feel like I can only take one or two drinks before I'm like, this is it. I've hit my limit. It's kind of like eating a pineapple pizza.
Howler Head. This is a standard whiskey. You get 40% alcohol, 80 proof. We had a fifth between us, and it was a very, very enjoyable fifth.
Went down smooth and quick.
Exactly. That is always a plus side with whiskey, is smooth. One of the worst things, especially if you're not used to drinking liquor straight, is you take a glass and you're like,
Oh, that one's a real one there.
And there was no grimacing with this bottle. It was very, very smooth.
Yeah, like I told you before, it reminded me a lot of Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, where if you don't notice how much alcohol is in it, the alcohol content, you could get pretty messed up within a few glasses. We drank pretty much this whole bottle here, and
I think we did drink the whole bottle.
We felt the after effects of it later on, and there's a tiny bit left in this glass here that I've been savoring just because it has a very, very sweet banana taste to it. Okay.
Anyways, we are talking about Project Cars.
You always confuse the two games, man.
I do, because they both got the project, and we're talking about the project.
Kid, they just made one game with a big project.
We wanted to do something for you where we were exhibiting a proper VR setup and a solid simulation racing. Now, for a VR setup, we are using the HTC Vive, not the Vive 2. This is the original Vive setup from the first generation of PC VR games that came out probably about 7 or 8 years ago now. And we are using the Logitech 920 steering wheel, the PS4 version, also compatible with PC. The car guy right here, that's this man. He knows his cars, he knows what car does what. Me, I just know what the tracks look like and when to brake. Unlike this guy, who doesn't know when to brake.
No, I just like to put pedal to the floor and see what happens. Playing with a controller when you're playing with Gran Turismo, you just want to see how fast the car goes, especially if you're doing a really fast car. And I think that's the excitement of the game when you have a racing simulator, just to see how fast you can take those turns. It's not fun unless you get into a crash, and especially if you're making a crash. And that's actually one of the great things that we saw in this game, where what I really appreciated was the fact that ahead of you in the game, other cars were actually getting into large crashes and accidents.
Oh, absolutely. This is a simulation racing game. This is a game that you play because you want the realistic experience of a racing game. If you want to just, bang your car around and go as fast as you can go and not worry about how badly you take the turns, there are plenty of great games out there that are arcade racing, like the Burnout series, and the Need for Speed series. But this is a game that is more geared towards realistic racing. Let's get the racing feel to as close to reality as we can, and as close to reality as we can program.
Yeah.
And that's what this game does a really good job of.
Yeah, I agree. I think it does a really good job of that. I felt playing, especially on the VR headset, that the mechanics of each individual car is highlighted when you're driving. So if you're driving, for example, a rear-wheel drive car, you're actually feeling the pressure of the rear wheels when you're driving, and it's actually different than that when you're driving a four-wheel drive car.
The system that we were using, the G920 Logitech steering wheel and pedals, this is a force feedback system. So when you are steering and you start to encounter some resistance on the track, that steering wheel will start fighting you just like you were driving a car in real life, driving like a maniac. And again, that is something that really is appreciated from a game like this. The headset that we were using, again, the original HTC Vive, still captures the moment, because as you're driving around, you can look all around that you want in the cockpit, and you're going to get a full 360-degree viewpoint while you're sitting in the cockpit from the position of somebody sitting in the cockpit. If you're sitting in a car that's got safety mechanisms hung all around like a NASCAR driver, you're going to see those cargo harnesses all strung out throughout the car. Honestly, the only thing I think that is missing from the audio is an audio track of a pit crew calling out the turns to you as you're driving. That's something that you tend to see in some more modern racing games, but you do not see in this series.
Yeah, that is something that was missing, especially if you don't know the course. There are some other games, especially rally-based games, that do that, which is actually a component of those rally games. And I think when you are driving on those rally maps, it would be helpful if those calls were being made to you, so you don't get blindsided by a tree or an unexpected turn.
I don't think I've ever had this game crash on me. And I'm using this game with a external peripheral, I'm using it with a external VR headset, and I still can't get this game to crash. And that's something that I truly, truly appreciate in a modern, big budget game.
Yeah, I think it stands out in that respect. So, the bugs have been all kicked out, and it's been a few years since it's come out, and I think they're at the point where the game is just completely stable for everyone to play and appreciate without any crashes. And the fact that we're actually playing on the PC, I assume the same thing for anybody who's playing on the console games, where we're just not going to be experiencing any bugs at the moment.
Lastly, as far as the replayability and should you spend your money on this game, the thing that I want to point out to you first and foremost, we were just playing around with the custom, aka quick race mode tonight. We were not even starting to indulge in the career mode. There is a career mode in this game where you can literally start out with golf carts or go-karts. Sorry, not golf carts.
Golf
go-karts.
carts would be cool, though.
Golf carts would be
Maybe
crazy.
Send them an email.
But they start out with go-karts, and you're racing go-karts around the putt 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 course. That's what you start out with, and you go from racing go-karts to racing Formula One, historical cars. There are hundreds of different cars in this game, and the career mode can truly take you through all different layers of amateur to semi-pro to professional racing. And that is truly an amazing aspect of this game.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at the evolution of cars throughout the years and the marvel of engineering throughout the years.
Dude,
but
this whiskey was amazing.
It was really good. I'm still drinking it because I don't want to stop.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig.
2000s rap.
Dude, that's chili peppers.
Oh, that was chili peppers.
I think that was chili
That
peppers.
was chili peppers. Yeah,
Was that chili peppers?
Yeah, you did a chili peppers riff, which is why I wouldn't put it past you.
I mean, I'm a big fan of rap too, but I'm also a big fan of Flea, the best bassist ever.
He is pretty good.
And I'm also a big fan of this bottle, although I wish it... Oh, you know what? There's a few drops left in here.
Let's polish it off. Or just drink it straight from the bottle, like a brute. Ladies and gentlemen,
Brute!
the brute.
The Brute!
Cheers. Thanks for watching.
Cheers! Thank you for watching. And remember, if you like what you are seeing, then you must like and subscribe. Or the goat herder will come to get you in your sleep.